me, write to me. If you have something for Jonathan, something for Andrew, something for Doyle, for any of us, hit us up. Let us know. Facebook or YouTube, excuse me. Or get in the comments on Twitter as well. You can watch it everywhere. Columbus Crew's lineup right here. Caleb Porter, the coach. Jonathan, there you are in central defense. What do you remember from the preparation for this game?
So I usually play on the right side, but Cognali prefers the right side, so I had to let him play there. We worked a lot, the back four, because it was Harrison's, a couple of games back from his jaw injury, and Connor Maloney, I think it was his first game, so we had to, make it work.
I'm looking at Pedro Santos, his breakout year last year. Luis Diaz, we'll talk about him a little bit later. And, of course, the goal man, Giassi Zardes, we will definitely hear from him at some point during this game. He had something to say about it. Look, I got to say, before we get to the Cincinnati lineup, Harrison Awful, always been my guy, Jonathan. So I'm going to be trying to pick your brain for some good Harrison Awful stories there. One of the best right backs in this league, and certainly a character. We'll get to him a little bit later as we see what goes down.
Cool.
But, of course, FC Cincinnati's lineup will come up here for us shortly. And I just want to correct folks. I misspoke. Twitter. It is not streaming there, but at Andrew_Wiebe, if you want to ask us a question, feel free to get at me on Twitter, and I'll pass it on to these guys. Andrew, how many of these teammates did you know? How many names did you know when you saw this lineup?
Watching the left and back in this game, spent a lot of time with him talking just about how each player plays, what are their tendencies, where he expects me to be in possession, out of possession. But he was really the one that tried to give me enough speed as he was good. Obviously, he couldn't do it all, but he tried to give me as much.
Were you nervous, Andrew, when you saw your name on the team sheet, 2 days before the game or whenever it was, were you like, I wasn't quite expecting this to just be immediately thrown in, or did you figure that might happen?
I figured it probably didn't happen sooner rather than later. I wasn't so much nervous because I
Ignited back in the Open Cup in the round of 32 in 2017 when Cincinnati was still a member of the USL and pulled the upset with GB Ford's goal in the second half. Captain Will Trapp speaking on that yesterday. There's a little bit of a bitter taste for the guys that were still around, including Alex Fernali.
A little hectic, good pace to start. What did it feel like in the stadium, Jonathan, for this rivalry game? Because you did not get to play in Nippert in 2017. You walk out of the locker rooms onto the field. Did it feel different than other games?
Yeah, so I think it was sold out, and I think that was my first time playing in front of a crowd like that. It was such a vibrant atmosphere, and we wanted to go out there, play hard, and I think they actually kind of like they were pressing from the get-go, and they got those goals from that.
Okay, cool.
How's Caleb different than Greg Berhalter, Jonathan? Because that's a pretty big change. I mean, the whole club was really built around Greg and his vision, and to have that kind of switch in an instant and go to Caleb, I have to imagine it was a little bit jarring as a player.
I think as a player, you need to be ready to work with any coach the club brings in. We all know Greg is more based on possession game, but Caleb is more of possession as well, plus the counter attack. So we needed to adjust quicker and play to what he wanted us to play like.
It's got to be early on in Eli Room's time, too. A little summer signing. That man can stop some shots. What was the game plan for FC Cincinnati, Andrew?
It was obviously we had just gotten a new coach, so he was trying to implement his style. So we were trying to press as high as we could and just keep them under pressure because I remember watching the video and Columbus would always try to play out of the back. They would always try to play a good style of game no matter what kind of pressure they were on. So that was our game plan, was try to press them and force them into mistakes. And early on, we did a good job of forcing them into mistakes. We got some good chances out of it.
One of the things we've seen even in the first 3 minutes here is when you guys were building out, Andrew, I think it was Caleb Stanko dropping back, splitting the center backs, and pushing you in particular high on that left side. That very similar to how you played in college from what I saw as well, like basically an attacking left back. So that had to have eased the transition for you, like right into it. You're getting touches.
Yeah, for sure. It was, it goes back to, the style that the coach wanted to play. He likes pushing his fullback super high. And I just fit that profile very well. And Caleb Stanko he's a great passer, so he was able to drop in, and it just opened up the midfield and our attack so much better in this game.
Of course, if you missed the news earlier this year, Ron Jans is no longer the head coach of FC Cincinnati. Johan de May is the interim coach right now. So short-lived stints for Ron Jans as well as Alan Koch to get things started, and some uncertainty, let's say, at the top of the hierarchy from a coaching perspective for FC Cincinnati still. Right now, as we all experience uncertainty during these times with COVID-19, but we're not exactly sure what will happen with their head coaching situation.
Wiebe, did you say Johan Dame or did you say Dome?
Did I say Dome? I felt like I said Johan Dame.
Dome's still out there. I'm just saying.
I guess Dome is out there.
You want a coach you can win a little bit in MLS,
Jared Nightcamp could make some calls. Who knows? He's got the time and the inclination. Right now he's trying to figure out a little something with Jurgen Locadia as well, because this whole break is throwing off some transfer window stuff and some loan agreements too. What was the feel within the team, Andrew? I mean, you didn't have much time to sort of take the temperature, but you were coming in what was a period of upheaval for FC Cincinnati. Could you feel that?
Not really, because I came in the same day the head coach came in. So when a new head coach comes in, it's almost like a clean slate for everyone. So the environment was really positive. Everyone was upbeat because it was an even chance for everyone to prove what they had. And you could see that in this game. But I think what happened in this game was Cincinnati was playing more of like a low block and counter press type of style throughout the whole year. And then this was the first game where they switched it up to high press. And so a lot of guys just physically couldn't keep that intensity up for 90 minutes.
Jonathan, when you guys are being pressed like this at the start of the game, like you're the veteran center back, you're the leader back there, like how much of what you're doing is actually just communicating with the guys around you and making sure that everybody is where they need to be? Because, like Andrew said, you guys like to try to play out everything.
So, we look at the setup, whether they're pressing or not. We still stick to the game plan, and if we see the high press is kind of too much for us, we just go long and then we play the second ball, which we always do. We do practice. So if playing out isn't the option, we just go long and then play for the second ball.
Did you enjoy Greg's style? I mean, I know that Caleb's a little bit more pragmatic in that sense, but did you kind of like being the team that, like, it doesn't matter what you're going to do, we're going to sit back and pass the ball around you? Or did you feel like at times that puts you in danger?
I think as a player, you need to recognize the situation on the field. Even though the coach has given you the game plan, because, sometimes whatever you work on might not be what happens on the field. So you need to use your own football intelligence to kind of like handle the situation. I loved the way Greg played, because playing in France and other places, I think we always try to build up from the back, and I liked it as well.
Nice little meeting with Harrison Offal there, Andrew.
Yeah, I actually grew up like watching him a lot, so there was a couple guys on the crew field that I grew up watching, and it was kind of like I took a step back right before the game when I was like, wow, I grew up watching these guys, and now I'm about to go play against them.
How long did it take to sort of like shake that off and be like the competitive juices come through? Is that like as soon as the whistle goes, like, okay, that's gone, game time?
For sure. It was, I don't know if you guys remember, but like the first minute I played like a 1-2 with Lamar, and I made like a 20, 30-yard run. And I just need like one of those right away to get myself going. And then it's just nonstop from there.
Where were you watching, Andrew, Harrison Offal? Because he doesn't necessarily have an incredible career, incredible player, but he doesn't necessarily have the like EPL Saturday mornings. I mean, Feyenoord in the academy, and then he's back in Ghana, and then he's in Tunis for a long time. Like, was it with the Ghanaian national team, or where'd you see him?
It was with Columbus, like growing up, and
dang.
I watched a lot of MLS growing up. Obviously I grew up in the Chicago Fire Academy, so I was all about MLS. And I just remember, like, once I made the transition to fullback, I started watching MLS fullbacks just to see how they play, because I always thought like this was going to be the future, like my future, like the league I was going into. So I just always watched him, and he gets forward so much, and that's what I like to do. So I just.
How old were you, Andrew, when you converted to fullback?
I was 15. So the second training session when I joined the academy, they switched me from winger to fullback.
And what'd they say? What was the message? Was it, hey, this is how you play in the league, or?
The message was, this was the open spot on the field right now, and if you want to play in this team, this is where you're going to have to play. So I said, okay.
Yeah, that's fair. It's hard to hear right now, but I just want to make a note of this. This game was played just a few days after the Dayton mass shooting. I think a lot of people remember that, and sort of how scarring that was and sad that was. Right now in this 9th minute, I guess it's just over. You couldn't hear the fans. The reason was they were paying homage to those people who lost their lives and honoring them by having a minute of silence. Here comes Giassi, though. And shouldn't have put the spotlight on him in that particular moment.
That's not Jossi's strength, Wiebe. That's not Jossi's strength, right?
Somebody else do that for him. He needs to make
play
those runs.
Finisher, not a playmaker.
Get into the box. Jonathan, how much of an impact was Harrison on you moving to Columbus? If I remember correctly, he was there before you were?
Right. So he came in 2015. I think we were in camp that time. We were preparing for African Cup 2017, and then he told me Greg was going to call me. So I think, Greg started talking to him before he came to join us in camp. So he told me, his coach was going to call me, and I said, okay. So Greg called me. We spoke for like 45 minutes, and then I told him what I think, and we started to talk into details.
How important was it to you that Harrison was there? Was that a big deal? How much did that matter?
Oh, it did, because I've known Harrison for a long time. Started playing with him in the national team 2009, and he's been like the big brother to me. So me coming there, knowing he was there, was going to play close to him, it really helped me, and I'm grateful that he's here.
Andrew, do you want to talk about that long throw that went out for a goal kick a minute ago, or you want to just skip over that?
Well, Darren Maddox is probably one of the fastest guys in the league, so I always thought he'd want to get into space, but I guess at one time he wanted the ball at his feet.
Threw the change up on you.
Yeah.
What teams when did you first really start watching MLS, Andrew? Like what year was it? What teams do you remember? What players other than awful were you really focused on?
Do you have a Kalen Carr jersey? Because he was a star for the Fire when you were about 10 years old.
Now, my guy growing up in Chicago was Blanco. I remember, like, when I was 10, 11, 12, when I started, like, really kind of watching it and going to games, I just remember thinking, like, this guy was unbelievable. He would do things – he would basically tour with players out on the field. And then another one was Logan Paws. He was, like, more of a less flashy player, but I always thought he was just so clean on the ball, and so he had like some sort of smoothness to his game that I always just was attracted to. So those were like the two big players that really first caught my eye growing up.
Big Fire points for you for going with the Logan Paws shout out. That was maybe one that most people would overlook. But
no, he's a good player.
Yeah,
I thought he was a great player.
Ooh, tried the drag over there. Out for a corner here.
To this point in the season last year, Columbus was still so injured, right? So there's obviously missing Valenzuela. Abubakar Keita had come in and done a good job, but he was injured for this one as well. Obviously, no Pipa. Williams as well. But at the same time, it seemed like you guys were starting to be a little bit more certain of yourselves. I talked right over that. It seemed like you guys were starting to be a little more certain of yourselves at this point in the year, Jonathan.
Right. So it was all going good before the injuries, started. So I think I played with 17 different back lines. It was just crazy. So I had to be ready to play with anyone, We started the season so well, and then we started to dip, and then we kind of took off. Second half of the season, we started to play our game again. Who's that guy? Ooh.
I'll give you that little clap for that.
I told you I was a winger. I grew up as a winger. I got some checkers.
I was gonna say not many defenders get to wear the icon cap, but I think we're gonna allow it after that little technical skill.
A little bit of respect
there,
now that you saw the Meg.
Right.
By the way, here comes the first big action of the half.
All right.
Got Victor Ulloa now with Inter Miami stepping over it. Kendall Waston puts his hand up as if I was Kendall Waston every single time I was in the box. I'd put my hand up, be like, yes, right here on this dome, please. Ooh.
See? Now, I think Gutman deserves the assist because, that doesn't happen without the Meg, right? If he's not...
See, that's what... I was thinking the same thing.
If he's not willing to go in there...
we got second assist, but I think that's like a sixth assist. You got to take that one way back to give you the credit on that one. Man, look at those traveling fans. I saw you getting into the mix there, Andrew. Don't know these guys' names, but we're celebrating, baby. Let's do it.
No, anytime you score a goal, even if you don't know them, you got to go celebrate. And the thing about this was Darren over-jumped the ball, too. So he had to come back underneath to head it in.
Jonathan, I don't want to drive this home, man, but that marking, Darren Maddox is alone.
So, I know. So he came from, I think Artur was the one that was marking him. We actually had our markers, so he came right from where the goalkeeper was, so it became 4v3. I think he was trying to point, guys, pick him up. But, we already had our markers, so... we couldn't do much on that one.
Yeah, it's hard in that moment. Somebody says, hey, pick them up. And you're like, I have my assignment. What do I do? Mike on Facebook wants to know from you guys how you felt the atmosphere. Could you get a sense of sort of I don't know if it was dislike, but certainly the rivalry between the two sides? Was there respect? How were the fans in this game?
Oh, yeah, it was good. It was good. And obviously, them scoring first kind of like, we need to do all we could, to come back because we're playing in front of our home. home fans. So definitely, we would want to score and then make them happy.
Got the Nordek right there. Nordek, excuse me. Andrew, could you hear your folks? I mean, I've been to Cincinnati for a game. I was actually there for their very first MLS home game. I mean, it's a party. Those people, they know how to get down.
They love their soccer in Cincinnati. And when we scored this opener, and I think it was 7,000 or I don't know, somewhere around there, traveling fans. When they started to celebrate, it almost felt like they were the majority in the stadium. It was kind of like a weird vibe for the 20 seconds after that goal. But yeah, those fans are unlike any other fans in America.
7,000.
I got a question here.
You sure, bro?
That's what they said. I don't know. What do you think it was? They took up that whole top section, man.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't know though, But when you score, they get loud. So, maybe ghost 7,000 maybe.
Oh, no goal, no noise. I think that's what Jonathan's trying to say.
Right.
Morgan Hughes hit us up here, and what's up, Morgan?
Morgan's a
from back
legend.
in the day. He is a legend. He wants to know about Zelarayan, Jonathan, and he's obviously not playing in this game. Just arrived in the transfer window before this season.
Yeah.
What did you see from Lucas Zelarayan in the little time that you got to spend with him?
Great guy, and we all see what he does on the field. He's a very good player, and we're very happy to have him here. 2 games in, we all see what he got, and hopefully he even improves and help us get where we want to be.
How would you compare him to Pipa, like as players?
Oh, different level, different. I think when Pipa came into the league, he was, I think, 27, 28. So yeah, I would say let's see. 2 games into the season, I won't compare him to Pipa because what Pipa has done for this league is incredible. So.
This crew team was much different, and I want to talk about Eloy Room and Luis Diaz, but I want to go back to your comment about Pipa. And Jonathan, we do on Extra Time right now. Ooh, nice little Meg. We do Mount Rushmores for every team. Basically, the 4 players that sort of define clubs. And we weren't able to find a way to get Pipa onto the crew Mount Rushmore. We have Guillermo Barchelotto, who was easy number 1. Yes, Darren. Find the wickets, my son. We have Brian McBride. We have Chad Marshall, the all-time appearances, couple Defender of the Years, couple Shields, yada, yada, yada. And Doyle, help me out here. Somehow I'm forgetting the third. Oh, Frankie.
Frankie,
brah.
Yeah, Frankie Haydick.
Yeah.
Pipa is such a legend, but he can't.
Can we create a 5th one?
If we
Yeah,
would,
right?
if
Bonus.
we would,
Do it.
Yeah, I know. I saw that as well, but it's not possible to put in a 5th guy, but he is. We all know, what he's done for the club and this league. So, if you know, you know.
That's a good way of putting it. If you know, you know. And I also know there's a little something coming up right here. Do you remember this moment, Jonathan? I think this is an almost own goal for you.
I think to Waston, he brought it back, and I cleared it with my left foot, I think. Yep.
Woo! Look at that memory. Did you rewatch this game to prepare for this, or did you just know?
So I watched it, I know, but I watched it, I think, 2 days ago. Yeah, I watched it 2 days ago.
Are you guys the sort of players who can be like, 5 years ago, 76th minute, this play happened, or is it all just kind of come together?
Oh, I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
Yeah, I think I am too.
I can go back to my under 20 times and tell you as soon as I see the video.
I think it's 2-0 coming up here.
Yeah, it is. And I don't want to say that's
Right.
out of character
Right.
for Cincinnati
There you
in
go.
2019, but yes. Emmanuel Ledesma, There's a guy that Cincinnati fans love. He's going straight to the away fans.
That's the 7,000 fans. Okay.
Kicking the sideboard. I've always thought that's interesting. Like, I get it. You're jacked up. You're going to kick the sideboard, but it also feels like you're a professional soccer player. You should probably like do everything you can to protect your feet in moments when like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Good
He's
ball.
a very passionate guy. Good finish too.
This one just snuck through on you guys, Jonathan.
It was crazy. So I think Alex touched it, and then, you know, I missed it. That deflection actually kind of killed me, killed Martox, everyone. And it went to him.
How are you feeling right now, Jonathan? The ball's in the back of the net. You're picking it out. You're throwing it back. This is your big rivalry game. It's the 24th minute, and you're down 2-0. How are you feeling?
It was crazy moment for us, you know, 2-0, 23rd minute. The coach, you know, like, come on, guys. You know, we're looking at each other like, guys, come on now. We got to lift it now. You know, even though it was still early in the game, we could, you know, feel that we could come back. So, yeah, we weren't worried at all.
You know Cincinnati's feeling it when Alan Cruz is just picking up the ball there, and he's like, yeah,
That was
no,
a
I'm
heat
gonna
check.
chip. Yeah, I'm going to chip this one. Why not? I'm just going to throw it up there. Just give it a try. Go for it.
Andrew, at this point, 2-0 up, is there any sense that you guys are going to be a little less aggressive with your positioning and, you know, be a little more conservative? Or is it still like, let's go out, let's press, let's try to get a third?
It was still, let's go out, let's press. That was our game plan for as long as we could do it, honestly. And I think this point at 2-0 up, we were thinking like, wow, we could maybe get a third and a fourth the way like the balls were bouncing, how we were pressing. So we were flying at the moment, and we were just trying to keep it up as much as we could.
You're winning every 50-50 out there. You got fullbacks nutmegging guys. I mean, things just going
That
perfect.
happens regardless if it's 2-0 up. That'll happen regardless.
How many nutmegs did you have last year, Jonathan? Since you got that photographic memory.
0.
Should have gone.
So let's say if
7,000.
the ball goes through your leg and it, like a cross, is that a
Doesn't
mag?
count.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Doesn't count.
You got to put it through their legs and then also get the
And
ball
then
back.
go get the ball. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think I got one. Maybe here. I don't know.
Jonathan, I guarantee you, if you get one this year, we are going to absolutely blow. We will have wall-to-wall coverage of that
Yeah.
on MLSsoccer.com. We'll get you
Breaking
back. We'll get
news: Jonathan Mensah, Megs.
extra time. You know, we'll get you. I'll write a column about it, like frame by frame breakdown. I promise.
I don't think in this league, right? If you make me, I don't think you can get the ball though.
Really?
I don't think so.
Why? Because you're fouling him, or what?
No, I'm just gonna win the ball back. Okay, let's say if
Okay.
I foul, is that a meg too? Does it count?
If you foul him,
You
yeah,
gotta say
for
half
sure.
meg.
That's a full meg. If he was going to get around you and you foul him, that's a meg. I think it's almost worse if you foul him after
Yeah,
you get meg.
because there's the desperation aspect of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I gotta
get
grab
the,
you to
you get
stop
the
you.
replay on the big screen and everything.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
Boy, I'm looking forward to Hell is Real now. I don't know how you're
I
gonna
know.
have
Oh,
I
yeah.
want you guys to try to be megging
I was
each
gonna
other
say,
all game.
Jonathan
Yeah,
likes
for
to play
sure.
on the right side, and you're going to be on the
No.
left, Andrew. So if you just cut
Yeah,
inside
yeah,
a little
so-
bit, maybe.
Be careful, bro. You know you're gonna have Harrison, the guy you used to watch, and the guy you're talking to right now. So be careful, my guy.
I mean, be careful is one way to go about it. If I was Andrew,
Yeah.
I would be all about it. I'd be like, I'm getting Harrison,
Okay.
then I'm getting you, then I'm getting goal, then we're gonna talk about it afterwards. I'm gonna come back, see what's
Careful,
up,
bro.
what's up.
Okay. If you're gonna start talking now, I'm just gonna call Luis Diaz, bro.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm putting words in the other Andrew's mouth right now. Jonathan, we have another question for you on YouTube, I believe it is. Who's the hardest tackler, most annoying teammate to play against in training? So who's the guy in training that you're just like, it's training, slow down a little bit, like protect my knees?
Former teammates or current teammates?
Do current and then give me the former after that.
The former will be Lalas.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, the former will be Lalas, and then now, I don't know, man.
Lawless is so
you?
far above and beyond.
Is the
Maybe
answer
me?
you, Jonathan?
Me,
Yeah.
maybe.
After all those threats about potential Megs, I got a feeling it might be you.
Yeah.
Do you miss Lawless, man? He's such a character.
Man,
I sat down with him in January.
He's my brother, man. He's my brother. So, let me tell you a little story. So Lalas used to watch me when I played with the national team in my previous clubs. He was like, "Hey, bro, I used to watch you," and I'm like, "Oh, really?" Say, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah." So now let's work together. He was like, "Bro." Like he always would tell me how he used to watch me in the World Cup, and now he's playing with me. And I'm like, yeah, bro, this is life. I used to watch some of the guys, and now I'm playing with them. So, hey, let's do work. And, such a great guy.
He is happy to
Found
see
a
him
good
find
home in Colorado, too. Yeah.
Happy to see him
yeah.
get that playing time.
I spoke to him.
He told us some crazy stories about playing against Zlatan. About what Zlatan was saying to him and the little beef that they got into.
I warned him. Yeah, I told him, bro.
What'd you tell him? What are your experiences against Zlatan?
We all know Zlatan. I played against him 2012 when I was playing in France. So crazy, we all know Zlatan. I think that game, I don't know, but then where I used to play was really cold and they couldn't move. All the PSG guys couldn't move, and then, we beat them 2-0. So I told him, Lalas, be careful. So this guy is going to beat you by talking to you, especially, when you kind of like shove him from behind. He's just going to look at you with, some weird eye. And then I'm like, hey, bro, when he looks at you that way, don't mind him. Just play your game, play hard. Don't even look at him. Lalas was like, okay, bro. And then when the game started to talk to him, and then it was game over for him.
Yeah, if you start getting pulled in by Zlatan's antics, then he's got you right
then,
where he wants
he
you.
got you, yeah.
Do you guys talk on the field, like to your opponents, obviously with your teammates, but are you trash talkers, or are you more the quiet, silent types?
No, I'm just the quiet type. I just do my thing, and if you try to talk to me, like if you try to talk smack at me, I just look at you and then play my game. But I'll make sure that you feel me though.
How about you, Andrew?
Nah, I don't say much on the field. Yeah, I'm not a big talker. Even with my teammates and stuff, I kind of just try to get up and down the wing as much as I can. That's my job, and I stick to it.
Keep it simple. So, for folks who don't know Andrew's story, he was a homegrown. Could have been a homegrown for the Chicago Fire. You were the Player of the Year in college for Indiana your senior year, right?
Yes.
Playing left back, so that doesn't happen often. There aren't a lot of fullbacks who have been Player of the Year in college. And then you signed with Celtic, one of the big clubs in Europe. How did that come about? What were the moving pieces there for you?
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because after the season had ended, I found out that Rangers actually wanted to take me on trial. So I went over to Scotland originally on trial with them. And then midway through the trial, my college coach had texted me and said, hey, Celtic's interested in you. Have your agent give him a call and see what's going on. So my agent at the time basically just called them, and they said they were interested in signing me, and I thought it was the right move, so I just ended up going that route.
Did you trial with them too, or no?
No, it was just I think I was over there the week before Christmas for the Rangers trial, and then I had come back, and I didn't think there was a point of going back over there for another trial, so that we ended up just being able to get a contract without a trial, which was nice.
Yeah, I mean, nice
and then
little played him off back and forth, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't, but it just worked out that way.
So you came to Charlotte on loan for the start of last year's USL schedule, and then how did the move to Cincinnati happen?
Yeah, so it was originally I went to Charlotte because the coach at Charlotte at the time used to be a youth coach at Celtic, so there's like a little bit of connection there. And then I ended up playing well in Charlotte, and I got called back for Celtic's preseason tour around Europe. So I was there for around 2 months, and I showed really well. So it was either try to get my work permit, which I wasn't eligible for, and I don't think I still am, or it was find a better loan move. And so I just started looking for better loan moves, and Cincinnati came about because originally back in January in that transfer window, they were trying to get my rights from Chicago if I was going to stay in the MLS. So the move kind of just happened 6 months later for Cincinnati. So they had always wanted me, and I thought it was a good spot to go and continue to play.
A little chance there. Let me ask you, Jonathan, why do you go just Jonathan? Why the first name?
So it started. It started in 2010, I think. Yeah, 2010. So former captain was John Mensah, and so I was Jonathan Mensah. So during the tournament, he was gonna put J Mensah. I was gonna put J Mensah, and then I told them if they can put my first name. They said yeah, they can do that, and I kept it since then.
I'm going to wait till the second half to ask you about 2014 in the World Cup. I don't think I can.
Don't inflict that pain upon him.
Oh, man.
Yes, Giassi.
And that's a nice little bit of work from Giassi.
When you, Jonathan, I don't know if you follow the coverage or hear people, and you're probably not on Twitter as much as Doyle and I are, especially during U.S. national team games.
You shouldn't be. You
shouldn't be. It can be a
hell
cesspool.
site.
People seem just like, for whatever reason, Giassi gets people going. As a teammate, as a 9 for you, what do you think of him? He scored a lot of goals.
I think he's a good scorer. You know, so that is what people want. You know, as a striker, people want you to score, and I think he's good for our system, and it's different when he goes to the national team because the whole of the United States is looking at you now. So it's not like playing just in Ohio where you have just the Columbus fans cheering for you, criticizing sometimes. But when you're playing for the nation, I think the pressure is different. So I understand.
How much pressure did you feel under when you played with Ghana? Did you feel that sort of like weight from people?
I think for me, I think I feel more pressure when I'm playing at home because, when you're playing at home, everyone is looking like, hey, you guys need to win, when you're driving the bus to training and, coming back to your hotel, game days, you can sense the pressure like, hey, guys, win, nothing else. So, let's say you tie at home, they're going to be insulting you, they'll be tweeting stuff, but when we're playing away, we don't have no pressure at all. We just always doing our best to win the game because this time, playing for your club, but the whole nation, Ghana is a football nation, so If you don't win, you're gonna get it.
Now, Andrew, you were in one national team camp in the last couple of years. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you go to you were in January's camp?
No, I was in
back in
camp
May,
before
right?
the Gold
So,
Cup. Yeah.
okay, right. How much was it individualized work, and how much was it, okay, here are the principles of play for, we all know Greg likes positional play, and we all know how he uses his fullbacks. Like, how much of that were you just, like, thrown into, and how much of it was like, okay, it's like a college 101 course, just get the basics?
I would say for that camp, it was just get the basics of it, because I think it was only like 10 days. And it was a lot of players that weren't familiar with the system. So I just remember every day we were training the system, just until we were like blue in the face, just getting it ingrained into us. So that was the majority of the camp. And then obviously when the Gold Cup happened, they brought in guys that have played more games, so they understood the system better.
So is there, at this point, having been through a camp and now, a starter for a first division team, I assume you're occasionally in touch with the coaching staff. Do they give you like specific things they want to see you improve upon, or specific, notes that you should factor into, how your approach to the game, I guess I'll say?
Sorry, you cut out. Are you talking about the national team?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I haven't spoken to them too much since this season started, but I remember last season I spoke with them a little bit. It was more of them just like watching me and saying like, "Oh, you did well in this game," or stuff like that. So it wasn't too in depth. It was more just keeping in touch and making sure that I know that I'm still on the radar a little bit. So it's been good.
Looking for some left backs, Andrew. I mean, left back, pretty good spot
Always
to be. Could have chose a worse position if you're trying to get pushed in there, right?
I feel like a lot of teams around the world always look for left backs. I feel like it's a rarity for a lot of teams.
I have a 2-year-old. I have my wife's pregnant right now, and I'm looking for a left footer, baby. Like, just give me 1 out of 2. Give me a left footer. And also not my ankles. Please let me not pass my ankles down to my kid. That would be incredible. So we have another question that came in I think is interesting. Henry Zimenoff on YouTube, for both you guys, what has been the hardest obstacle to overcome as a professional? Jonathan, we'll start with you. What's like the thing in your career that made you doubt or made you think, man, maybe this isn't going to happen for me, or an injury or a club change? What's the hardest thing you've had to overcome?
Yeah, I think I would say injury. I operated my adductors, my groin, 2012, and I thought it was going to be over for me because the way I was feeling was very strange. We had to reoperate, and kind of like going. I think I did only 6 games that year. I did like 8 months of rehab, so it was like, wow. What am I going to do now? And then when I came back, season was almost over, so that was like a weird moment for me.
Who did you lean on in that moment? Who are the people in your life that, or the things that you did to try to get away? Because I can only imagine, not being able to do not only what you love, but what your profession is for that period of time, and also sitting there thinking, maybe my body is never going to be the same.
It was my mom. I actually told my club, I need my mom around. So they did all the paperwork. My mom, a chance coming here. I'm going to head to the second pole, Jassy. So,
let's see. Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Can we talk about whether that was intentional or?
So I was actually scoring, but then it went to Jassy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, my mom came over to France after my operation, and she was there for me, like she's always been. So.
Nothing like having mom there to make it feel more comfortable, huh?
It was incredible because I was out for 6 months, you know, plus the rehab. That was like 8 months. It was penalty. So, you know, mom being around.
Play.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, I can see why he called it, but
Right.
that's a pretty soft.
No, if you can see why
Let's
he
hear it.
called it, that's it.
Onside.
Boom.
Ooh.
It's because his
Right,
arm went
right,
up, bro. No.
right behind him, bro. If it was side to side, okay, but behind him.
You think in
know.
France they're calling that a PK?
No, we're in the United States, bro.
Right there. Oh, you got that 7,000 though. You can see him right there.
Yeah,
right in
you
that
can see
second
them
page.
right there.
I just counted them. That just exactly 7,000. Exactly 7,000.
We got to get an official number on that. I swear it's 7,000.
I'm trying to remember what I said on instant replay about this PK
I'm
because I know
wondering-
You said it was a PK. I remember that.
Oh, see, you do remember everything. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm
Jonathan's
pretty.
a big instant replay guy.
I know. I'm pretty sure I said that. I was like, I think it's a little soft. So
It's
I
a
agree
little
with,
soft,
with
but
Andrew.
yeah.
But you see that right arm push.
When the
Right.
arm
That was
extends,
soft as
man,
hell.
you can't do much about that.
Yes, and this was behind him. If it was side
Yeah.
to side, okay.
He did sell it well though, like
He
in
did.
terms of when he jumped, how he got his body.
Yeah. Do I love it? I don't love it, and I would hope that I might not call it.
I wouldn't say he. Look at it.
Oh,
Come on,
no.
bro. You're gonna call
It's
it.
just
any
he's not
day.
going to do anything with that.
Yeah, even if
Right.
he gets his head on it, the chances of him,
He's doing
Going
nothing. With it.
scoring
inside.
that.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it wasn't a play you would expect to see out of a veteran center back, was it?
no.
I think he was
Yeah.
he was surprised. I think.
Who was that?
I mean,
though?
he was-
Who was on that play?
It was Van der Werf. He was new too.
Oh, okay.
He was
That
new
was,
too.
I
There
think,
were
his
so many
second
new
or third
faces
game, yeah.
on both
Okay.
sides. New faces, like I said, Room and Luis Diaz and everything else.
Right.
Let's see, is
Yeah,
Van der Werf
Maloney
trying to
playing
talk?
right
He's
back.
trying to throw him off.
He's going
mean,
to go to
Titan-
his right. Going
Titan
to go
didn't
to
play a
his
ton
right.
of games either. Yes, Giassi. Get that little stutter step pause, kiss the ball up to the air. Do you ever mark Giassi in training, Jonathan?
You know, we always on the same team, so.
It helps
sometimes,
to be first
sometimes in a
teamers, yeah.
small-sided game, yeah, we play against each other.
It's always incredible to me when I'm like interviewing him or I'm around him, just how like big he is. When you see him on the field, sometimes it's hard to recognize that, but he is
Right.
he's wide and long and just he's a big guy. I would
Yeah, he's
hate to
wide.
be chasing him in behind. I would hate to be trying to like get
No,
around
this guy,
him.
man, this guy can run all day, man. Crazy.
We didn't get your moment, Andrew, your biggest obstacle, but we will after halftime. I don't want to get it cut off for you. Give you plenty of time to give the answers as the Nordica goes absolutely bonkers, as
Yeah,
they
it's game on
should.
now.
You needed that goal, didn't you, Jonathan?
Oh yeah, right before the half, it was very important for us.
I'm just gonna say that I like the aesthetics of this rivalry too. Like the colors work. It feels like they're opposed with the blue and the orange and the yellow and the black. It's just
Right.
like it's complementary. I like it. Pedro's another guy I'll pick your brain on in the second half, Jonathan, because he was a guy that a lot of people wondered was it going to happen for him, and then last year
Yeah.
really finally got comfortable, hit the ground running.
Right, that's right.
Has had to face Spencer Ritchie making a couple of saves. Become the number one, but missing a third straight with a back
Ooh.
injury.
That's a Kindle tackle for you
Oh
right
my
there.
gosh.
Those happen every day in training. Oh my god. You just got to get out of the way.
I mean,
Oh my God.
when I'm watching Kindle, you just know when it's coming. You're like, oh no,
Right,
that ball's
right.
like in between you and him. Here comes the big leg swing.
Crazy.
I remember in preseason we were playing small sided and he tried to like flick lob me like over my head. So he did it and then he just started running at me and I remember trying to like get out of the way as opposed to trying to defend him because I was
Oh, God,
not going to
yeah.
take that hit from him.
Oh no, certainly not. Certainly not. If you
Crazy.
think Giassi's big, man, him versus Kendall Waston, that's
Right.
battle of the Titans right
Heavyweight matchup.
Our tour will follow the Costa Rican cruise.
there. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. This just makes me really, really miss
23 is coming off
Like,
a good Gold Cup in his own right.
the game, live games, the ebb and flow of the season, the storylines,
Yeah, man.
all the little things, man. It just,
Go on penalties.
I've been so caught up in what's going on everywhere else and just trying to sort of survive, but seeing soccer be played. Oh, what was that, by the way?
So the
How
ball
good
was
a route are we
actually
going?
kind of like in between them, and then kind of kicked them in the abdomen.
Can I just say though,
I
the
hope
all
that was
black,
the abdomen.
the all black cleat look. I'm gonna just for Connor Maloney. That's a nice look. I like that look.
Classic.
Why
I
not
think-
for me though? Why not for me? Come on now.
You're the all
I
blacks
also do
too.
all black. Come on now,
Okay,
bro.
all right. I just
Oh,
didn't
really?
see them. They just weren't in the screen,
right.
Jonathan. All right.
All right, cool. All right.
Andrew's one of those
Here we
defenders
go.
that's
Here
wearing
we go.
Where,
Boom.
Ooh. Right in the bread basket. Right in the bread basket. We'll have to wait and see what cleats Andrew was rocking. After that mag,
I
I
got
feel like
the-
it has to. You got to have color.
I got the
what, Adidas?
greenish yellow ones. Yeah, they're Adidas, the Copas.
Yeah, I did it.
Cincinnati with one last stretch
Oh, okay.
before the half end.
I like the white boots the best. Those are
Oh,
my preferred boots.
Set up that bike effort.
yes. Go for it. Go for the quasi bike falling back scissor kick at the end of the half. I'm here for it, Alan Cruz. All right, 2-1 at halftime, Cincinnati. I mean, I don't know why I'm announcing that as if we didn't already know that was the case. This game was played in August 2019. Clapping them off there. That was fun, guys. That was fun.
Yeah.
Cincinnati up, so for the time being, Andrew feeling good. Before we keep going, I just want to throw out everybody out there. MLS Unite's going on right now. MLS Works, the MLS Players Association, all of us getting behind each other, supporting each other through what are, I think we all know, difficult times. This week, MLS Unites is all about fitness and wellness. I went out, hit the open field where nobody was, social distance yesterday, did some squats and some lunges, and I can barely sit down right now, but I'm sure you guys are doing much more. How are you staying active? Not just physically. We know that's part of it for your profession, for your jobs, but I think one of the big tests here is mentally. How are you dealing with this both mentally and physically? Jonathan, we'll start with you.
So, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm tough, but you know, I always talk to our physician if I need it. I'm like, hey, I think last season I was struggling mentally because my wife wasn't here and came back from African Cup with bone bruises and all that. So, talking to your wife all the time, talking to people on video, it's not the same as, having them around. So last season I was struggling and I told them. They gave me some break when I came back. And but this season we actually started well. Mentally everything was going fine. And now we go back into this situation. So it has been a little challenging for me. But then I went to the bike store, bought myself a bike. Go to the park, ride my bike, go for a run, come back, watch some movie, series, go to the neighbors. So kind of like keeping myself active, busy, and, talking to the neighbors kind of really helps. So I would say, as compared to last season, I'm at a great place right now, mentally.
Just waiting like all of us.
Yeah.
Hoping that everybody can stay safe and do what they need to do and emerge on the other side. What about you, Andrew? I see people getting like exercise bikes delivered. Obviously, Jonathan just went out and bought himself a bike. How are you staying fit?
Well, I was staying fit because there was a park district really close to my house, but they just closed that down yesterday. So now I got to improvise a little bit. But But I mean, I have a bike. You got obviously the weather's getting nicer, so you can run outside, stuff like that. So at this moment, it's just following the fitness program laid out by our team, and then kind of just doing whatever in the afternoon, whether that's playing games with my parents or watching Netflix, playing video games, stuff like that. It was really nice that I was able to get out of Cincinnati and get back to Chicago during this time. I think mentally that helped me a lot.
You jumped in
Netflix,
the car?
So Netflix, so obviously Tiger King. We all have opinions about... I mean, did she do it? I don't know.
For sure.
I'm going to say for sure, too. I can't... Come on. I don't know. The whole thing's so bizarre. I didn't... the whole thing's just...
So bizarre.
Carol, guys.
You can't turn it off.
She's innocent.
Oh, I don't know.
She might be. I don't want to speculate on her innocence or guilt. I feel like this is not we're not a court of law here. By the way, Friday, April 10th. If you want to keep yourself busy, 4 p.m. Eastern, MLS Classics remix back at it with Dax McCarty, Chris Wingert, Susanna Collins, and Alexis Guerreros. And this is going to be one of those streams that I think is going to go off the rails in the best way possible. The first New York derby. Going to play that one back. And, of course, here's the map. If you're trying to figure out whether hell is real and why hell is real when it comes to the Crew and FC Cincinnati, right there you can see the hell is real sign between Columbus and Cincinnati. And I'm pretty sure this sign faces Columbus. So we are on I-71 going between these two cities in Ohio. If you're going from Columbus to Cincinnati, you see that sign. Have you guys seen this sign on your travels, like physically with your own eyes, or is this the first time?
That's the first time for me.
No, I've seen it because I think right after the home game, we went there 2 weeks later on, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we drove there and I saw it.
When you were on the bus with the team, Jonathan, was somebody like standing up, flagging you guys down and being like, right here, this is the hell is real sign? Or was it just kind of like going back through the bus?
It was just, a normal ride.
I honestly think it's like maybe the best name for a rivalry
for sure.
in the league. I mean, hell is real. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's incredible as we start the second half here.
Right.
It also seems like it's a warning to people from Columbus as they're driving towards Cincinnati. Like, don't go that way. Don't try the chili.
Oh man.
We might have one too.
Go the other way?
Yeah, we
Just
might put one. So is heaven.
Oh, okay. There you go. A little play on words there.
Jonathan's going into marketing when he retires.
No kidding. I thought it was going to be like, this is the real hell, or hell is actually here, or something intimidating. But
yeah, if they want to put that, we put that one.
Okay, I see. You're out here saving souls, right? That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm doing my best, man.
Speaking of, before, and Andrew, we'll get to sort of your obstacle here. Jillian Sakovitz just texted me, Jonathan, and she says that you will not talk about your foundation unless we push you to do so. And I've seen Beyond the Stands, and I've seen what you're doing in Ghana. Tell people what you do and how they can help, man.
What can I say? I'm just doing my best. So what this sports has given me, it's just beyond what I even imagined or what I dreamt of. So in a way that I say thank you to the community and thank you to everyone. So whatever that I can do to see people smile, to see to elevate others, I just I'm all for it. So
tell me about the program, man. Give us some details.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. So let's say,
what's your foundation up to right now?
So the foundation is actually going to a couple of villages, looking whether they have good, clean water to drink, and then we actually start working on it, talking to people, and then we get the engineers to actually check where they can get water, and then we start a project. So we send the team out. They look at places where they kind of like they need water, they need like a bath, what we actually doing now. They need food, they need anything. So, we just come together, plan, and then, we execute. So it was good that Jillian actually came on board for the project that we had during end of 18, I think. Yeah. I think we
Jillian
did
just
January.
texted me, Jonathan.
January.
She says you guys need a bus and that people can help you out.
Right.
Tell people how to help
Oh,
you out,
right.
man. I feel like there's
So
nobody
we
in the
have,
history of time. I can't pull it out of you, man. Tell people how to help.
So, yeah, whoever that want to help, we have this. You can go to Instagram, Jonathan Mensah Foundation, Twitter, and then the video is also on YouTube right now. You understand? We have our. Who is that guy? Ooh.
How did the left
That
back
winger.
get
How
out?
did that guy get there? I think he played
That's
the
what I'm
ball and then he just kept running.
It's that hidden winger in me snuck behind
Oh
you
my
guys.
God.
Unhappy
I remember
about what
that
it would
play
have been.
though. I thought you were
Yeah.
so much closer than me. I got nervous on that.
No, so I was actually looking at the guy behind me, but when I saw he was going to cross to you, I started to come forward, and then you didn't get a clean contact on the ball. So
I didn't want to.
talk of my foundation, we have our GoFundMe page. It's on Instagram, it's on Twitter, and you can check it out. Support if you can, and keep spreading the word, man.
It's awesome the work
So you
you're
know,
doing, man.
guys, I'm tweeting that Jonathan Mensah, the documentary about Jonathan's program, and you can follow the links and understand how to donate and exactly what they're doing to try to make the world a better place.
And if you need Doyle's Twitter, it's @notatroll. @notatroll. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
am absolutely not a troll. I'm
just-
literally
Oh
tweeting
my
it right
God.
now.
I know. That's what the joke
No,
is.
I think you are a little bit, just a little bit,
No.
just a little bit.
Do you guys
Yeah.
follow the coverage of the league on Twitter and in MLS soccer and everywhere else that people are talking about it? Do you consume media during the season and the off season? Or are you going to give me the cliche that all the players like to give, which is I don't listen at all, we don't pay attention at all, which I don't believe at all. I don't believe that in any
They
way, shape,
all
or form.
read everything, Wiebe. They all read everything.
I do read, I do watch, and yeah.
I'll
Not
go in
everything
waves
though.
back and
Not
forth.
everything though.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to say like, and watch out. You're like, there was some.
Trying to remember if I wrote anything bad about either of you
Yeah,
guys.
I don't think I did. So never did. Didn't write anything bad about FC in Cincinnati for sure. Nothing. Let's go back to that question, Andrew, for you. What's the biggest obstacle you've overcome in your career?
Yeah, obviously I haven't played as long as Jonathan, but I would say probably just all of last year was a big obstacle. I was on 3 different teams over the course of the year. I was, in different cities every, 2 months, 3 months, moving around, and then to go over to Celtic and have a situation that's not in your control in terms of if you play well, you stay. And then there was more things about that didn't allow me to stay. Was mentally tough for me because it's like you keep pushing, you play well, all this stuff, and the whole reason for that is so you get results and you get to progress in your career. And I felt like at that moment it was like I did everything I could and I still wasn't progressing. But I think the move to Cincinnati mentally helped me a lot because it was. The MLS is a great league. People in Europe are talking about it all the time. I remember when I was at Celtic, all the guys in the club were asking me about the league and, how can I get there? What's it like and all that stuff. So I think once I got that move to Cincinnati, things started to get better for me, and I kind of just put all that stuff the last 8 months behind me.
Did you know when you went to Celtic that? Obviously work permit is an issue for so many over there. Did you have sort of a feeling of like, okay, I'm signing, but there's going to be some uncertainty here, or did you think you were going to get your permit?
Honestly, at the time I signed, I didn't even know I needed a work permit. I was that naive. And then when I went there, at first I didn't. I knew I was going to go out on loan because they signed me right out of college, so they didn't know, where I stood in terms of professionalism, the level I was at. And then when I went back into the summer, I just thought if I played well, I was going to stay because normally how it is with loan players. They come back, and if they do well, they stay. Otherwise, they go out on loan again. And then to hear about all the work permits and situations like that later on, that's when mentally it really hit me like, wow, this is going to be a tough hill to climb.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's Will. Luis Diaz comes off, and as he comes off here, Jonathan, I just wanted you to give us the scouting report as Mokhtar comes in on Diaz, because Diaz helped change your guys' season. I mean, he's a really dynamic player. We know what he's done with Costa Rica, but what he's doing in MLS now is pretty impressive.
Yeah, young guy, powerful, got all the pace in the world, and he's such a good crosser of the ball. And whenever he plays him wide, he's just running into the box, because this guy will just give you the ball where you want it. So he did great for us last season, and hopefully he continue to improve for us.
Andrew, at this point, I mean, obviously you're new to the league, new to the team. Do you have the scouting report in your head for Diaz versus Mokhtar?
No, to be honest, I didn't know who either of those two players were before the game. The only player I knew, I mean, obviously the guys I grew up watching, but when David Accam came in, that was when it hit me, because he played in Chicago when I was there. And I trained with him and some of the other guys. And I remember one time in Chicago, we were playing like an 11v11 kind of game, and he just burned me in the open field. So when he came on, that was like the first thing that came to my mind was like, do not let him outpace you. Do not let him touch it by you. So that was the one thing I remember going through my head.
I got to ask you, Andrew, and I know, we've talked sort of about the Celtic aspect of this, but you stayed in college till your senior year, and you could have come out early, I think, to the Fire as a homegrown. Why was that not the right move for you? I mean, everybody's got to make their own decisions and choose their own path, but for you, why was that not the right way to start?
Yeah, it was, I mean, I could have came out, sophomore, junior, senior year, any of the years really, but I think it was my freshman year they drafted a left back. And so when they did that, I started to think like, okay, where do I stand in the organization? And I wanted to, if I was going to go pro, I wanted to have, a good opportunity to play and improve. And I thought if I was going to go pro in Chicago, with the left back that's only a couple years older than me, there's really no room for me unless, I beat them out. But they wasted I think he was like a top draft pick. So they thought highly of him. So I just thought I wasn't going to go to Chicago knowing that he was in front of me when he was also a young player. So I just stayed in school and waited to see if anything else popped up. And then my senior year, I had a really good year, and the doors just flew open for me.
Man, Brandon Vincent. I was trying to remember and think back, but
it was Brandon Vincent.
But Brandon
and then
Vincent.
they signed Andre Reynolds too, the younger kid. Mm-hmm. So they kind of bracketed you there. Yeah.
It is what it is.
They've kind of changed their ways a little bit. They signed about a dozen homegrown kids this offseason, so hopefully a new direction for the Fire, because last decade was not kind to that franchise.
Yeah. I mean, I hope they do well. It's my hometown club where I grew up playing, so you always want to see them do well. Just maybe not when they play Cincinnati.
What about when they play Columbus?
3-0, hopefully.
3-0 for them? Bro. Really?
I think Cincinnati beat Chicago last year, right? I think they beat them in Chicago.
Let me check this. Yep. 2-1 at Chicago, a month before you got there.
Yeah.
Really should win.
So you got to think about you, though. Chicago coming for you, bro.
Chicago.
Yeah, they're coming for Cincinnati. Be careful.
There's a better throwing for you right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
2 feet on the ground, straight over the top, right into
Good
feet,
form,
man. That's
everything.
Fundamentals.
the way they teach it. That's the way they teach it. All right, Jonathan, I think now's the time. 2014, I was there.
Oh my God.
Ghana,
And
U.S.
Oh man, don't do
Just
that.
tell
Don't do that.
me about the build up to that World Cup for you, and the build up to that game, and then, the way it all went down.
I don't know why we actually camped in Miami though, because you guys saw whatever we were gonna do, and then you guys just scored minutes into the game. I think a minute, something like
You
that.
guys didn't know what Clint Dempsey was gonna do? Come on, man, it's Clint Dempsey.
Oh, okay, I knew it, but I wasn't playing that side, so
Yeah,
I
you were
know,
yelling
I
at
know,
him.
it was-
Guys,
it
he's
was
really
just
good.
crazy, man.
He's very expressive with the ball at his feet. Beware.
Oh man, crazy man. Start of the game, boom, boom, boom. I was like, no, what is happening, guys? It happened so fast we couldn't even believe it.
And then you dominated the rest of the game, right up until the
I
very
know,
end.
but then we lost though.
Yeah.
We lost the game. I remember this guy coming on, Brooks, I think. He came on and then last minute corner kick, bang.
He couldn't believe it. He
I
fell
know,
down.
he was like,
Which is, here's the story I always tell about that goal, because he's like shocked, in awe. He's like,
Right.
I can't believe this happened. And then after the game in the mix zone, he's like, I dreamt that would happen last night. I was like, no, you did not. There's zero chance that you dreamt that. You
maybe,
just- you just,
daydreaming. He dreamt in the game,
maybe 10 seconds ago when he came up
Oh,
with a good
man.
answer for it. Look, it was a good answer. It made headlines. But I was like, no way.
Yeah.
No way did you dream that, man.
It's a good goal.
Was a good header.
Good goal,
It was a
man.
good header.
Oof. Man.
Close to a good goal right here, too.
But then, 2 consecutive World Cups before that one, we beat you guys 2-1. So we thought, it gives a little something,
Yeah. Wait till it's not the knockout stage. Oh man, I still remember that Asamoah Gyan goal.
Ooh.
Just thinking, please don't put this past Howard.
I know.
Please, please.
I was actually the one that kicked Dempsey so hard, and Donovan scored the PK.
Off the
goal that you
woodwork,
guys-
that one. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I know. It was boom boom.
Oh.
No, not this one.
Not this was next one.
Oh man. You guys were playing rugby against Akam, man. Come on, 2 guys tackling him like that, man.
What is it about
Gentleman's
Columbus?
game.
You guys have the squad, like Ghanaians just back up
I
and
know.
down that roster.
It got to a point we had like 5, 6. It's crazy.
You guys just having Sunday dinner together? I mean, you always hear
It's-
about like the Argentines doing their asado and everything else.
Oh yeah, sometimes we do, but not like the South American guys though. They always do that. We do that sometimes, not all the time.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time Columbus attacks Andrew, I'm just isolating on the left back. I'm just like, what's he doing? How's he playing this?
There comes a goal. There comes a goal.
Oh, yeah.
Quick free kick. Let's go. Let's do it. Boom, bam, beam. Boom, bam, beam.
Look at all that space.
Ooh,
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That's a hit. That's a hit.
I don't know, man. I wasn't
What?
looking at the space. I was looking at the top corner.
I think I was right behind him, like a little bit close. You'll see it. From the slow-mo, I
Yeah.
was right behind him. I saw the ball swerve like that. I'm like, yeah.
Ooh, those Cincinnati fans on the sideline were pretty jacked up in the first half, if I remember right. Because you guys were scoring on this one, then bang.
Look
Bang.
at Johnny. Look at Johnny right behind.
Great run. Great run to clear that little lane for him to shoot.
Look at Johnny.
Womp. He hit that thing.
Oh,
It was a
did
huge
that
season
one.
last year for Pedro Santos, Jonathan.
Right,
There was
right.
He did not have a great first year in MLS. What do you think changed for him?
I think he actually, realized that, there was a lot of pressure on him. I didn't know why he didn't see that before, but then, when, in this league, when you have the tag DP, you got to be extra, man. And, coming in from Europe, playing for Braga, we expected him to kind of like gel into the group right away, help us, but then, he did, but it wasn't enough. So it was good to see that last season.
We got a question here from, I believe it is from Matthew Little on YouTube. This one's for you, Jonathan. What's Will Trapp's presence on the field like, and are things different without him? Of course, Will, homegrown, Ohio, Columbus boy, born and raised. What was he like as a captain, and what's it like to have him not be there?
Just 2 games into the game, so I won't say it wasn't much of a change. But then, he was born in Ohio. Everything about him was about Ohio, and now, this change. It was big for him, big for the club, because I think I don't know, maybe it was good for him, good move for him, and good move for the team. So you can still see the change, but I think it was a good change for both sides, I think.
A little fresh start.
Yeah.
Hit it.
No, stop it.
He's going though. He wants the
channel,
return ball.
Yeah, he didn't know if the ball was going to come, so he didn't take too much of the risk there. He was like,
now you got a 110-yard sprint getting back, buddy.
Did the fitness level that what was like the demand on you as far as that goes? If you guys were pressing and you're coming from Charlotte, but really you're coming from preseason with Celtic. Ooh, Giassi. Like how much of a demand on you is there just physically, Andrew?
I mean, when I got to Cincinnati, when I started playing in games, I felt, like I could have ran for, like that 90 minutes, because at Celtic they play like that high press, very, very direct channel style play where their fullbacks are up and down the pitch. So I had been like that for 2 months, getting in shape for that. And then to come into Cincinnati and find out that that's exactly how the new coach wanted to play, it was like a perfect fit for me.
Here's one from Jason S. on Facebook for you guys. And Doyle, I'll let you chime in on it as well. Maybe I'll get an answer at the end. What non-Hellas Real rivalry is your favorite in MLS to follow or watch right now? And Jason S. says, if you both say the El Tráfico, then we got to find a new one. So you could say El Tráfico if you want, but right now, just as a viewer, as a neutral, so to speak, what's your favorite rivalry outside of this one in MLS, guys? We'll start with you, Andrew.
I mean, I was going to say LAFC, LA Galaxy, because Carlos Vela and Zlatan, I always thought that was a pretty cool rivalry, especially when they're both bagging multiple goals in those games.
You got a different answer for me, Jonathan?
I would say I remember one game where San Jose came back, won against LA Galaxy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that one is a good one too. I was gonna say El Tráfico, but that one is a good one too.
There's just something about El Tráfico, huh? I mean, the way
we've never seen anything like it in the what they like that first game. Vela scores 2.
Yeah, it was
They're up
crazy.
3-0. They
Zlatan.
come on. Zlatan scores. Like, how do you top that? It's insane.
Oh come on! Oh come on! Oh come on! Oh man!
I'd give that throw in a 5 out of 10. It's a good idea.
I mean, I forgot he was like 6'6", so most center backs, that's going over their head.
Oh yeah. This is starting to get a little chippy here.
Right.
Yeah. This is where we started to
get
after Columbus's second goal is when our team started to physically not be able to go as much as we were.
I like how Pedro just went with the straight up like NFL tackle right there. just didn't even mess around. Just wrapped up, pulled him down. Not trying to run with this dude. Let me just take him to the ground.
That's it.
So it's my opinion, guys, that rivalries start with the fans. That's the spark. I mean, it can be the players, but you really need something contentious, something that both groups just are mad about. At what point did you start feeling like, or have you felt like, that the rivalry is on the field between the players, or do you still feel like it's mostly about the fans?
I would say it starts with the fans, and then when it gets to game day, it's all about us and them as well. But then, before the game, you see, everyone want to have the bragging rights on social media. But when it gets to game day, now it's up to the players to show that too.
Yeah, for sure. I think leading up to it, it's all the fans just talking to each other on Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that. And then when it actually is game day, it gets more intense between the players. And you can see it in this game, and even in the one at Nipper too. It was really chippy. There's a lot of fouls, a lot of stuff like that going on.
How does it compare to Indiana, Michigan?
For soccer?
Yeah.
We always smacked Michigan, so it was never really a rivalry. And it's the opposite in football. Michigan always smacked us.
Yeah, who would be? I mean, I guess with Maryland being in the Big Ten now, then it would be Maryland, Indiana, but that's not like a traditional rivalry at the college level.
Yeah, I would say now it's Maryland, Indiana, just because those are like the top programs consistently in the country.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to interrupt because you did 4 years of college soccer, and you don't you're one of the top players in your age group in the U.S., and there aren't a lot of guys who are the top players in their age group doing 4 years of college soccer anymore. What would you say to like a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old who's choosing between MLS or maybe USL and going to a college program? Like, what are the things that you would say to look out for, and the things that maybe you think of and say, you know what, I wouldn't have gotten that as part of my life if I hadn't gone to college?
Yeah, I think obviously it's very situational. I would say the pros for college are you're able to learn from your mistakes in a more forgiving environment in terms of, say you're out of position, you don't get caught out as much, and you don't lose games that could ultimately lose the club and people, millions of dollars and stuff like that. So it's more forgiving in terms of you can grow from your mistakes and not be punished so much. But then on the flip side, I think development in terms of learning the game and the speed of play and your technical ability, that's where it lacks from the professional level. For me, I did a lot of individual work outside of training at Indiana, where I was just working by myself with the ball, and that's how I was able to progress my game. But looking back on it, I think the younger you get into a professional environment, the better you are in terms of growing as a player. And now with, these second teams coming about, you're able to train in a professional environment in the MLS, but also get games at a little bit lower level, but that will still, make you grow much more as a player than you would in college.
Who's I'm blanking on the name right now, but Indiana just had the freshman that just signed as a homegrown with the Crew.
Aiden Morris.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I saw him. I made it back to Indiana for one game, and I saw him play. And he was the best player on the field, by far. I don't know how he's been in Columbus, but when he was at Indiana, he was a stud.
How's he been, Jonathan? Aiden Morris. I know it's
he's been good.
Not much
he's
time.
Been good.
But
yeah, he's been very good. He's been good. Throughout preseason, you could see they're still young, but they're always willing to work, and it's good.
Can I ask you a question here, Jonathan, about your shorts? everybody else's shorts look much smaller. You look like you're wearing basketball shorts. What's going on?
Oh my gosh, I always get this question.
I'm glad you
man.
said that. I was thinking that this whole time.
This whole time, every time I see him, I'm like, this dude looks like the Fab Five. You know what I mean? Like, those things are baggy.
I know. But yeah, I like it that way. So I told the kids, man, when you coming into the league, they ask you what size, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, I like double XL.
Double XL, bro.
What are you doing with the waist?
He's wearing a belt. That's what he's doing.
He's
got a built-in belt in his shorts.
I tie it so hard. Yeah, so I don't know. I love big shorts, man.
That's funny. That's so funny. Now I'm really glad I asked. Because everybody else looks like, I'm like, those are the, look at Gutman here. Look at these shorts. Whoa.
I always go smaller on my stuff.
I was gonna say those are mediums right there.
Yeah, I like them big though, especially my shorts.
I gotta tell you, Andrew, you had the I've been in Scotland for 2 months tan right there as well. You were looking pretty pale for the middle of August.
I mean, I go from Chicago to Bloomington, Indiana to Scotland. There's not much sun in those areas of the world. But
what's with the 96?
Oh boy.
With the
you
inch
just
ball.
dropped David
Come
a
on.
comment. There's that winger in me.
Oh, get stuck in too. Look at
There's
this
a Jonathan tackle right there.
Love it. Where does
you
where does
guys
96
you guys
come
haven't
from?
even seen me tackle like that before though.
I got it all. I got the megs. I got the tackles, breaking ankles, man. I just don't have the baggy shorts.
Yeah, you gotta work on that.
Yeah, you gotta work on that though.
I was wondering if the kit man had to sew him up or something, like you got to get a seamstress in here to make sure Jonathan's not going to have his pants fall down in the middle of the game.
But then this season, I think I only have the medium. I don't know, medium. I wore the extra large when we played Seattle in the yellow, but the black one I have the double XL. So
I honestly can't even believe that they make the authentic double XLs. What?
So they actually order them separately though.
It's bespoke. Yeah. He doesn't shop off the rack.
So after the game, Watson came to me and he was like, "Hey, bro, why is the short so big?" And I was like, "Hey, they order separate." He said, "Oh, really? I gotta do that, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Why 96, Andrew? Seems that's an interesting number choice.
Yeah, it was 15 was my first number, but Alan Cruz took that. So then I really didn't have any other number because I've been 15 my whole life. So then I went 96 because that was my birth year. I was just that's something unique to me. Makes you stand out a little bit more on the field. So
yeah,
I think it fits me well.
Well, birth year, 25th
Wiebe,
season, 96.
Wiebe, can you think of any other left backs who had interesting numbers, made them stand out in MLS? Maybe Angelino with NYCFC?
Yeah, it's just the reverse
nice
of 96.
Player.
Reverse
Nice player.
I mean, that's a
Who's
fun
that?
one. Angelino. You remember him? NYCFC,
Yeah.
early days?
Manchester City.
Yeah, on
Leipzig now, right?
Plays for Red Bull
Leipzig.
now.
Yeah,
popped
right.
up.
Yeah.
It was damn.
Yeah.
Feyenoord? I think Feyenoord. I can't. He
No.
went.
That was his number in MLS?
Yeah.
96.
No,
Reverse
the
it.
opposite of that.
Yeah,
Reverse it.
reverse it. Yeah,
Yeah.
reverse it.
69.
He was a unique. He was
He
a
had a
unique
nice season.
individual. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that he enjoyed his time in New York.
Oh, I bet he did. This is
What year was it?
trying to
Serves
challenge.
it.
Roberto Carlos. Oh, no.
Oh yeah, Jonah is there. Don't worry.
You're going up against a guy that's 5'5". You're gonna win that all day.
Okay.
The thing is, I'm surprised the amount of headers that Alan Cruz goes up for with how short he is. But he will always challenge for it, no matter what.
Because sometimes it's not just to win it, but just to distract the guy. You won't get certain distance
Yeah.
from the ball, so it helps.
But
Jonathan
a lot of the
doesn't
times
let a
he's
little
trying to
guy get in
score.
his head.
Nah.
No.
You just got to be careful though when you want to go up with me. You're gonna have headache for 2 weeks, man.
Or if you try to meg him, he'll just stick you.
I'm just going to be watching these
If
games.
you try to make me, whoo.
I'm waiting for this next Hell is Real because Andrew's going to have in his head after this.
This is going to be in the back of my mind for
He's
sure.
just going to be waiting for that moment. He's just going to be like, yes, yeah. Let me get into space. Jonathan, come out. Defend 1v1. You should come out here.
The double XL shorts, though, might cover the legs a little bit too
That
much.
might.
Oh, that's true, right?
It's a smaller gap.
Oh my gosh.
You can't even
Unless
see
I
the
put
gap.
it down though. Unless I bring it down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's gonna be my net.
What were your impressions first half year, let's say, Andrew, of MLS, and just the level and the players that you were going up against?
I really enjoyed it. Going through what Cincinnati went through last year, I think was helpful for me in a sense, because in college I think I lost like 5 games the 4 years I was there, so I was always used to winning. So to have mental setbacks in terms of losing games really made me grow as a player. And then just the level of competition was really high, and it really pushed me every game. There was a couple of games that I didn't feel like I played my best, and I got caught out because of it. It just made me grow up really fast, and I think this year especially I really took a big step forward in terms of how I play and my level.
Who was the most difficult matchup you had all year?
Diaz was one of them, and then Julian Gressel was one of them too. Just because, Diaz obviously was rapid. I think his pace is a little underestimated, or was, not anymore. And then Julian Gressel just puts the ball right on anyone's head every time he gets it. So, having to defend him and not give him any space for 90 minutes was really tough for me.
And Jonathan, you've been here 4 years? This is your 5th year with Columbus?
No, this is my fourth.
4th year. So how has the league changed in that time? Let me put it this way. One of the things that Bob Bradley has said is we'll know the league is getting better when you see more teams play with a clear identity and go out there with a purpose every week. Have you gotten a sense of that? Is that something that you've seen in your 4 years?
It has grown a lot, I was watching it because of Harry, because he came in 15, so I was watching, once in a while. But coming inside is totally different, and I loved it, and I'm still loving it. Like you said, 17, 18, it keeps changing because, Atlanta bringing someone like Miguel Almiron into the league, you can see and sense the difference and the quality of the kind of players that is coming into the league, and it's incredible to see where the league is headed now.
Do either of you guys have a team that's not yours, that's your favorite team in the league to watch?
Ooh. Of course, if we're not playing, you watch other games, but the only favorite team in the league will be my team, I would say. With my shorts, though. Big shorts.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have the shorts, it's not good.
Giassi dyed his hair so his grandparents could see him on the field. Jonathan, you just wear shorts that
Those
are 4
are a little
sizes too big, just so
excessive,
everybody can see you. Easy to recognize you. Who's that guy wearing a kilt? It's Jonathan.
Oh, yeah, that's Jonathan. Oh, okay.
Those are like those old school
man.
and one basketball shorts.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Hot
I
sauce.
can see that.
Hot sauce Mensah.
Yeah.
The professor.
Iverson.
There you go.
That's like the one time this whole game when the ball went up the left side, Andrew, that you're not just like streaking forward. 82nd
Played it
minute.
into space.
2-2. Got to be a little more conservative at that time.
Yeah. Especially, I think David Akam's on my side too. I think when he came in, the coaching staff also told me, like, I already knew he had pace, but they were like, you need to really slow your roll a little bit with this guy.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan, did you guys, 82nd minute tie game? You're at home, the momentum. You need to win this thing. Did you feel a sense of urgency at this point? Did you feel like, okay, we have to win this game?
Yeah, it was there, and that's why the coach brought Williams on. He took the left back out. He took Connor Maloney out. He brought another striker on. So he brought another player, Akam, on. So you could sense that we needed it. We had a couple of chances, and it was just unfortunate that we didn't score the winning goal because we had chances to do that.
It's about to be the Premslav Teton show right here. The final 10 minutes of this game is wild, man.
It's coming.
It's crazy, too, because he really didn't play that much. Let's go, Dad God. Getting his business. We've talked a lot about Harrison Affle on this.
Goals, man.
We've talked about Harrison Affle like this whole time, because obviously Andrew grew up watching him, and Jonathan, he's your boy. But can I just say how excited I am, or how excited I was, I guess, and will be, to see Milton Valenzuela back on the field? I mean, he is...
Oh, my gosh.
He's special.
That guy's fire, man. That guy is fire.
As soon as he got here, it was like, wait, a DP on
he went for the Meg again.
Went for the
Meg again.
Can't let my coach see that.
Romario, just control this boy and score, bro.
I remember that.
Just control this boy and score.
This is the start of like the 10 chances you guys had to.
Right.
By the way, that ball, like,
it was crazy.
when you see it coming, you're like, oh, this is just sort of like I'm under a little pressure. Let me just whip it forward. But that was on the money.
Mr. Big Shots, what are you doing?
Got to give a little applause to the groundskeepers as well. Like, I haven't mentioned it, but this is one of the best cut jobs I've seen.
Right.
They knew it was a big day. They knew they were on, the forefront of people's minds, and they brought the heat. Who has the best field in the league? Like, surface?
Columbus.
I'm trying to tell if that's just bias or... I
No,
know they
it's
have
not.
a great field.
It's not.
Yeah, I know they have a
We
great
do.
field.
I
Okay,
mean,
you gotta ask Andrew then.
I haven't played at every MLS field, but I would say the ones I have played at, Columbus is the best. I don't know if it was just because of this game.
No, it was. It's always been, like, you can ask these guys, they know. Why were they always bringing U.S. games here? You know it.
That could be true, but like, I mean, yes, this pitch
No,
was
but
super nice.
they do a great job,
when
man.
Maybe in 2021, Cincinnati's will be the best.
I saw
Still got that
the
new stadium on the
renderings and the updates on the construction. It's coming together. Like, usually you see a lot more just kind of flood of like, and we put up these stands and we did this and here's the foundation, and I haven't really seen that. And then the other day I saw it and it's like, oh my god, this is rising.
Yeah, it's moving
fast.
I think they have like a 24/7 live camera of it going on, and they have like a website attached to it and everything. But yeah, that's the big thing in the club right now is getting that stadium up.
Are you guys?
So when is it going to be ready?
I know it's
2021, so next season.
Like when?
I know you guys
exactly?
At the start of next season, like I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like our
first
home game of the season.
Is I know it's a weird time, Andrew, but was the training facility open for you guys, or is that still?
That opened this year. So yeah, we were inside until obviously the pandemic hit. But that was also really nice because before that, it was the locker room / like front office was just like this like weird brick building that used to be like office space that they kind of just made into like a makeshift locker room, and then to move into like a proper training facility was pretty nice for the club.
Tough to pinpoint that cross to Zardes, who's claiming a Teton and carried it over the byline.
Yeah, ours is going to be ready summertime, though. Next year, summer.
Play rolls along.
Yeah, another big year for stadiums next year.
Yeah.
Can I just ask
Stadiums.
you, John?
Always a place in my heart, though.
Yeah, man. I still remember, it wasn't the best memory, but I was there for the game that qualified for the World Cup before 14 in 2013 against Mexico, but then also during the Hex, the next round when they lost to Mexico there. That was painful. Jonathan, what was it like to go through Save the Crew as a member of the team?
Oh my gosh. It was kind of like the feeling of relegation in Europe a little bit, because when you play in Europe and you're a middle class team, you don't sleep when you're playing relegation battle all the time. It was a little bit like that, but this time it was even on a deeper level because you're kind of like you want to wipe off the history, the everything. So it was kind of like personal to me, because I didn't want like, oh, this group, this year, this batch kind of like, was the time that they moved the team to this side, blah, blah, blah. Even though, we couldn't say much, we could say more on the field, and that's what we did.
And then you were named captain, I think, before this year, right?
No, I was just named the captain this year.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. What did that mean to you?
Oh, man, it's just incredible. It's just incredible. I never thought of it. I'm just here to do my job, and if they see something in me, I would just do it. Oh, who's that guy? Uh-oh. So, I'm just here.
Look
Look at this child, bro! Oh my gosh, man! Bro!
When that went over, I was probably the most relieved man in the stadium. Oh my god!
I'm sure you went to Jazzy and said, "Hey, bro, thank you, bro, thank you."
No, I went to Kendall Watson. Kendall got a touch on that.
I know,
if you look
yeah.
at the replay.
He threw him off. I saw that.
Oh my god, that was.
Oh man.
I was just thinking, like, I played so well this game, and then I screw up in the 89th
minute.
One touch,
that
man.
One moment.
Yeah.
Whew.
But.
Oh man.
Hey, sometimes fate's
Kendall's
on your
always
side.
got my back.
Sometimes
Kendall's always
fate's on
got
your
my
side.
back.
Yeah, I remember. I'm trying to remember. I think I was watching this in the studio, and I remember us, because another one's coming, just jumping up and down and just like tearing our hair out and being like, how on earth did these balls not go
David
in the
Acom
back
hit
of
the
net?
post, I'm pretty sure.
Right,
Yeah,
right. It was kind of like he hit the shot, it
was
deflected, and
deflected.
then
Yeah.
it hit the crossbar.
I remember he stepped on Victor's face.
No,
too,
no,
and
no.
gave
You
him
you gotta talk about what happened before that, though. Come on,
What,
now.
he fouled him, right, or something?
Yeah, he was pulling him
Yeah.
from behind.
Yeah, but I remember just seeing pictures after the game. Like
it was crazy. I
Face.
saw.
Yeah.
So he was trying to jump over him, and then the cleats caught him in the face.
Rivalry game, boys. Rivalry game.
Yeah. Sweat, blood, tears, everything.
Look at that.
Just
Composure right there with the
Just-
big shorts.
yeah,
You see all that extra fabric fly out after
exactly.
that?
Well, he can't go with the one touch like that with the big shorts. So, doesn't have the range of motion he needs.
Right.
Might
yeah.
hit the
So you just
fabric.
gotta do that
You
with
never know.
with the chest.
You definitely can't
Here
trap
it
with your
is.
thighs
Here
with
it
those
is.
shorts.
Here it is.
Oh.
Dribble,
Yeah,
dribble,
that's
lose the ball. Ball comes back to him. Boom, bam.
Oh,
Oh,
off
my
the
God.
joint too.
Come on, man.
Just so many moments of. You can see Caleb just dying. Just
know.
can't believe.
Akam has been like this like his whole life. He can dribble and lose the ball, and the ball will come back to him, and he score. I'm like, bro, how do you do that?
It's a good superpower.
Crazy. Look at my face here. Look at my face here, man. Look at the innocent face here. You're gonna see that. And this guy is with us now.
Dab got
That's
it.
my boy. We roomed together when he was in Cincinnati. He was my
Okay,
roommate.
this is the Akam action. Akam action coming now. Ball get booted. Akam gets the ball. Look at this. Okay, this happened before that action. Look at this too. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. What sports is it?
And
again?
he still almost got through. Like he could have still, if they didn't stop him, he
Yeah,
still would have
right.
been through.
Right. I was actually down though.
Who can
Watson.
lip read?
Watson hit me with the elbow.
Former Indiana coach there.
Oh yeah, Indiana player too.
Yeah.
Who's the?
Come on.
Oh, they're
What
just everybody's
sports-
pulling
what
him. Victor's
sports is
trying to
it?
yank him down.
Right. And then here
And then
comes
he
the
then
cleats.
clipped him, cut him.
Uh-oh.
Keep it.
Uh-oh.
That's
Look at
actually an
this.
incredible grab. Like he's behind
Look,
him.
bro.
Yeah.
That would have
Bro.
ripped my arm out of socket right there.
He was like, nah. I ain't let you go.
Yeah, but if he didn't do that, you guys were through. So like,
I know. He was gonna kill Watson, I think.
just outpace him probably. But I mean, you got to take him down there any way you can. There's no going around that.
Mm-mm.
Starts the show with a nutmeg, finishes it with some really cynical defensive talk. Got to take the yellow card.
Got it all. Player / broadcaster,
Oh,
Right, doing a little bit of
like
everything.
insider.
Ooh, I'm
what-
digging the loyal since '96 tee.
So-
that thing's faded.
that
It's
man-
seen some washing.
the man you saw right now, that is Connor Maloney's father.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the one in the jersey yelling.
Right.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Look
Wow,
at
look
that,
at
bro.
this.
Come on now. Come on now.
What he's got to know is that
again?
you can't try to get the hips. Like Akam is
Oh,
never
man.
gonna, he's gonna be too powerful
Maybe,
for
are
that.
you saying you should have gone for the horse collar tackle? Isn't that
I'm saying you get the
illegal?
shoulders, you turn the shoulders, and he's going down. The hips, you're never gonna slow him down. He's always gonna be too powerful for that.
Wiebe's a Kansas City Chiefs fan, so now that his team has finally won the Super Bowl, suddenly an expert on proper tackling.
Now, let me tell you a story about tackling. I have tackled a fugitive before, and
Here we go.
I'm a hero.
Here we
I'm
go.
a hero in Lawrence, Kansas, and I tackled him. Actually, I went waist, but my technique was
the
better than
story
Victor's.
usually only comes out after Wiebe's had a few drinks, but here we are
Exactly.
late in the game. So.
Yeah, the rules don't apply during quarantine. This
I'm
was a
looking
nice
forward
little
to the
break for you
Friday
guys,
game.
though, too.
Yeah,
This was
it was.
for Cincinnati to say, like, okay, settle down. We've been under
Oh,
pressure.
yeah.
They still almost
They
gave
go-
up 3 goals, though. It didn't
I
settle
was
them.
like,
I know.
at this point in the game, I was just waiting for that
I
final
think
whistle.
I think this break actually helped them, man.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
it was coming.
Just like the craziest 10 minutes I've ever been a part of in a game.
Here it is. Here's your yellow card, my guy. Here it is. Here, bro. All right, see you later.
Man, Sylvia really waited on that one. He really waited. He let him get all the
I know,
treatment.
I
take
know.
him off. Okay,
That's
I
the
didn't
worst.
forget. I didn't
You
forget.
cut open your eye and then get a yellow card as you're walking
Right.
off.
I got to give props to Caleb. Going with the real tight, like, white shirt, collar, tie in Columbus in August.
It was hot that game, too.
Not going to be my choice.
No, it was very hot, man.
Yeah.
He's saying, I'm hot. I'm really hot. It's hot out here. I know no goal goes in, but I'm like kind of nervous. I'm like, is it gonna?
It was a good clearance, though.
Who made that clearance?
That was a handball, though.
Oh, I remember that. You guys won. Yeah. I don't think it. Did they VAR it or no?
So yeah, he
Must
was
not
checking.
have.
I think.
Here it is.
Yeah, he
Caleb
was
wants it.
checking. He was checking.
Yeah.
He's
He
saying,
did,
hey,
he
get in
did, but
get in his
he-
ears. Get in his ears.
I know. Oh man.
Oh, he's going for it too.
I know,
Give us
he
that
won
replay.
it.
I'm sure I'm like, yeah, we review so many
He said-
plays
he
on
said,
instant
wait,
replay
wait.
that sometimes I can't remember what we did, but we had to have done this call.
Yeah. I think I. Okay.
All right, here's
so
our
head
video review.
ahead.
Make your decision. What do you think? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Not
come
gonna
on,
be
guys.
not gonna be a penalty for me. Not gonna be a penalty.
Come
No
on,
way.
guys.
Just wave
His
it off.
arm was
Nope,
all the
play
way
on.
down by his side. What are you
Play
supposed to do
on.
there?
Distance. Yeah, play on.
Apple is gonna cross here. Jassy head. T-Town. Boom, bum.
Ooh.
I still don't understand how that cross got through. I don't think he was trying to put that on Jesse's head. I think he mishit it.
No, he did, bro. He wasn't shooting it. Look at it. He was crossing it here.
But I think he was trying to lift it one more line, like
Lift it
past
to
Bro,
the back post, right?
Yeah.
Lift it to the back post.
As another fullback, that's what's going through my head. I'm not trying to
Oh, okay.
put it right there.
Oh.
Come on, man. Jesus.
It was like and then the whistle.
Oh no.
Oh. How did you guys
Man.
feel after this, Jonathan? What was going through your minds here after you were
Right,
so close,
right
so
after
close,
the
so
whistle,
close?
I'm like, oh my gosh, like, come on, just go in. But then I'm like, okay, in 2 weeks we're gonna get you. That's what I said.
Somehow we went through this whole thing without even talking about that. A little 3-1, a little crew win.
Oh yeah, it was.
Andrew,
it
you
was
want us
just
to
like-
bring you back for that one, or are you skipping that one?
I think I'm busy that day, guys. I think I got some stuff to do.
Oh my
Can't
god.
wait for the upcoming crew matchup, though. See the big shorts with Jonathan.
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
Every
No,
time
that
I
one
watch
was a
you
good
guys
one.
now, I'm going to be looking for the shorts. I'm gonna know, since you said the black ones, you have definitely got those in the double
Yeah,
X's.
but
The
then
other ones,
the medium. Okay, maybe we do a little alteration.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, for spending a couple hours just talking about soccer. I don't know about you, but it felt great on my part. I feel like this is something I miss every day, every week. So thank you. Before we let you go, any final thoughts? Anything that's kind of bouncing around in your head? Anything you want to say to anybody who might be watching?
I'll let the neighbor go first.
Just stay safe, guys. Stay healthy. And hopefully you can watch us back on the field sooner rather than later.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, stay at home, stay safe, and stay close to loved ones. We're gonna be back out there soon, and we just can't wait. So thank you guys for the support, and God bless.
Doyle, you look like you're in a cave right now.
Yeah, I got the glare coming in from odd angles. No, I'm going to echo what these guys said. Stay safe. Stay at home. Also remember that it's weird because we're isolated and we can't see each other, but we are all going through this together. So the things that you're feeling right now, whether it's loneliness or a little bit of feeling blue, your friends, your family, the kid you went to college with, somebody from high school that you only know on Facebook, everybody's going through it. So never hesitate to reach out. Give someone a call, shoot someone a text. We're all going through it together, and we're all going to get through it together. This too shall pass.
My final note, just to play on that, I feel like I'm like Instagram story messaging random people just because I'm so desperate for social interaction. You'll get some more on Friday, April 10th, 4 p.m. Eastern. Another MLS Classics remix, Dax McCarty Chris Winger, two guys that were there for the start of the New York Derby rivalry. Susanna Collins will be hosting that one, and Alexis Guerreros will be on there talking trash, making you laugh, generally being
4 p.m. Friday is Susanna's cocktail hour, so this one could go off the rails pretty quickly.
It's 5 p.m. somewhere, right?
Also, someone out there, some crew fan, has to start an Instagram account for Jonathan's shorts. It just has to happen after this one.
That was my favorite part of this. Guys, thank you. It was great to hang out with you. We'll see you real soon, hopefully, all right? To everybody out there, have a great day, great week, great month. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you.
Man.